Hey, what's up, Squash Source fans out there? This is Pierre, and I am doing my first ever Squash Source random update. I don't know if I'll do one of these in the future, but it sort of struck me that it would be kind of fun to do a quick update rather than just a dedicated equipment review, and to show you what's going on behind the scenes a little bit here at Squash Source. So in terms of new stuff that's going to be coming out on the site, about halfway through testing the ProKennex rackets. You might have seen I did a video about kind of an overview video, and then more in-depth on some of the teardrops. I just posted that one. And I'm also going to be reviewing these Destiny models. Those are the traditional head shapes. So that'll be coming out pretty soon. I have a vacation coming up for a week, so it'll be a little maybe slow to get to that second video, but it will be coming out. I've been testing them already. So let me show you a few more things from the Squash Source closet. We've got a lot of rackets queued up. Right, so after that we're gonna do some Oliver rackets. Thanks to Pete from Oliver for sending these. We've got the Apex 550 coming along, and one of these is Rosner's racket. I think it's this one. This is the Tree Chopper model. I'm not even sure what it's called. Apex 700. We've got the Super Light Silver teardrop. These are all teardrops. And we got the Apex 900. So those are going to be coming along soon. And then we also have, thanks to QSS Squash for sending me these two to review. We've got the Wilson Ultra Countervail, or Ultra CV. This one is called. I got a lot of questions about this one, so I haven't hit with any of these yet, but I'm going to be giving it a shot. And we also have the Blade CV, which is oddly, I think this is Nicole's racket, which oddly doesn't have her face on it, whereas the blue one does have her face on it. But we're going to be giving those a shot. And let's see what else we got in the hopper. There is actually a page on Squash Source that tells you what's coming soon, but I thought it would be nice to check it out. Oh, here it is. Testing. Got some strings I need to report back on, but kind of want to do these rackets first because I think people care a little more about that. Oh, I got to catch up on the Carboflex X-Speed Storm. That's their lowest cost X-Speed racket. I'm going to be testing out also in the future some rackets from Gearbox, which is a new brand. They've done some goggles before, and they've done some other sports, some rackets in other sports. But Brandon from Squash Galaxy is going to send me a couple of those rackets to check out, hopefully. And also, right, so this is a couple pairs of shoes that I'm going to be checking out. This is my first time taking them out. So this is thanks to Stefan from Racket Guys for sending me these, and we shall see what it's like in here. All right. So we've got a pair of Yonex. I've never tried Yonex before. Ooh, hello. So I'm actually not sure, I don't know, what are these called? What do these say? Right, so these are called the Yonex Power Cushion Comfort Tour. They look pretty nice, the black and red. And so we're gonna check that out. I don't even have these on the Squash Source, so I don't know much about them at all. And we are also gonna check out a pair of tote bag. Racket Guys or Squash Guys tote bag, if you wanna check that out, because your gear matters. Asics Gel Tactic 2. A friend I play with, Robert, swears by these, and I've had some other players tell me these are great. So thanks, Stefan, for those as well. We're gonna be giving both those a shot. So the Hero Typhoons I've been using, just a quick update on those. They've been holding steady for me, holding up really well. It has been, how long has it been since I did this review? I've been playing with these for a month now. I think I posted in mid-February. And they've been holding up really well. No wear and tear on them, remaining comfortable and fitting well. I had a league match the other day where I bent down really low in the front left corner and was in a full lunge and did that thing where you scrape your knee a little bit. And it didn't hurt that much, but I just had this blood pouring out of there like crazy. It's all over my shoes, so I gotta figure out how to give these guys a little bath. But you should have seen me during this match. I was like, had like one band-aid and I had electrical tape, and I was like all wrapped up trying to keep myself from getting any blood on the court, which I was successful in. Right, so we will see how those new shoes do. And speaking of the injury to the knee, it's time to show off something for the Squash Bag organization. It's called the Packing Cube. It says Action. The guy who I bought this from wrote Action on there, and I thought, why not use that one? This was a suggestion from Rod. Thanks, Rod. So this was great. I actually had a bunch of these in my house already, and I like them for travel. And all I did with this was put my, all the loose ends in here. Grips and some extra string and electrical tape. I've got a pair of scissors in here to cut my grip. And now after the incident, I've also got a bag full of Band-Aids because I had to borrow some from Peter to deal with that. So that's something to add to your list as a packing cube. Just look for that. Right, and in other news, all right, just going through a couple questions I've received. So I got a question from Gabriel, and he asks, so he says, I've been using the Head Radical Slim Body 120 and I like the control feeling, but the strings keep breaking. Do you have, even though he uses a durable string, Supernic ZX or ZX translation, and he's looking for an alternative with even balance, traditional head shape, a certain head size, and 120 grams. He tried the Salming Fusione Feather, and it is similar, except it has tons more power. So that's a great question from Gabriel. He's narrowed down to specifically what he's looking for, and I don't have an off the top of my head answer for that, but what I would normally do is, there's a page on Squash Ropes, and I really need to upgrade this page, but it is called Racket Chart. It's linked from you can go to equipment. Where is it? Rackets. And Racket Chart, Racket Specs Comparison Chart. And on here it'll tell you the balance on the scale. So medium balance he was looking for would be about 36, 36 and a half. I really, on this page, want to add some filters so you can click and have it just show the rackets that meet the criteria. But so you can look on here for balance and then the total weight, because he had certain total weight in mind. And this has got the scale weight. So you want to take off kind of 20, 30 grams to get to a 120 number, depending on the model. And so after all that, one suggestion I had for him was maybe one of the Dunlop rackets, like the Dunlop Ultimate. I thought might be alright. And he independently looked at that and thought maybe the Pro 130 would be a good choice. I don't have the balance in there. That's something I'm trying to grow over time, is that kind of database of measurements and such. Oh, and a reader named Jan helped me put this together, and you can actually click on the link at the top of this page here for a spreadsheet, and that has a little bit more filtering ability. Although in terms of data, I'm trying to centralize that on the Squash source page. So really I have to do a little bit of a coding challenge and figure that out, or maybe hire somebody to do it. Right, so what else? Let's go through a couple Squash source site comment questions. So here's a question from Nick. It's a question about stringing a head speed touch racket, two piece versus one piece. I don't know, so if anybody can help Nick out on that, give it a shot. There's some discussion on the Ali Farag racket, the Hyperfiber Revelation Pro, and Farouk wants to know about the durability and control. My friend uses it, and I think he's found it to be pretty durable, and it is weighted in the head. So Nick says here it adds to the durability. I would guess that that's true, and but as Nick points out, you can't flick it like a headlight racket. That's what Farouk had asked about the control. So I think that's true. It's just it is pretty head heavy and it's hard to flick. And Jazz chimes in, though it's flickable, but you need to play it. If you needed to play more like a headlight, you just have to grip it higher on the handle, which is fair enough. What else we got? Right, so I also I did a couple of posts on for equipment recently. I'm trying to reorganize how I do that a little bit so that it's easier to churn out some equipment reports. It's been almost like a year or more since I did one. I did the TOC, so men's and women's, and then I also just did the Black Ball Open, which is a women's tournament that just happened in Egypt. Great tournament, by the way. I watched some of the matches on Squash TV. It was great. So I'm trying to just get some more up-to-date photos for a lot of the players, because a third type of equipment report I recently did was to try and organize by rankings. So you can go to squashsource.com/reports, and I've got those in there with, where's my rankings? Oh, maybe it's under /rankings. Yeah, women's rankings, men's rankings in March. So I'm going to try and do that on a regular basis and keep that updated and maybe add to it. I think right now I got the top 20, and some of the photos, as was pointed out, were pretty old, but I'll try to keep that up to date because I know that's one of people's favorite things, and I'm trying to make some kind of like best squash rackets, best shoes based on what the pros use. I think that would be helpful for people, and then we can add in kind of what's most popular around the courts and stuff too. Right. In other news, let's see. We got a little bit of let's check out the squash news scene. So this is kind of fun. In the U.S. Juniors, we just had the finals here, and on both sides were surprise winners actually. And this guy Thomas Rossini, he's a guy who lives near me here near Philly, so that was kind of fun to see him. He had quite I didn't get to watch it, but stirring victory. And then on the women's side, Olivia Robinson, I hadn't heard of her before. She shocked the crowd with a win over Marina Stefanoni, who's been the #1 for years and been winning the under-19s for years in the U.S. And then she went on to beat Elizabeth Ross in the final, Elizabeth's another Philly kid. So pretty good results for the Philly contingent. Good to see. And right, so that was my first ever Squash Source update, and we'll see if that kind of thing turns out well. If so, maybe I'll do some more in the future just to give you guys an idea, a little bit behind the scenes stuff before reviews and stuff comes out. All right, see you later.